Welcome to the Moms Being Moms podcast, where we swap our weekly mom moments, wins, and fails, then cover stories of moms being moms, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm Jessica.
I'm Sam.
I'm Whitney.
And let's mom it out. So my mom win today is something I've already told you guys, but I need to document it for the whole world to know and for history and to refer back to it. Because I don't keep a journal, so I can't look at a journal and say, look at this thing I did that day. I can still beat my kids in a foot race, and I'm still very proud of that. So it all started because I have a friend whose husband, they don't have kids, and he's just always so amazed how kids can run full speed all the time. And he's like, as an adult, when's the last time you ran full speed? And it just got stuck in my head. So one day we were at the park, and I said, hey, who wants to race mommy? So my 5-year-old stepped up first, and I did not stretch, and I won, but it was painful. Yeah. And I was like, wow. So this is also a PSA that if you decide to do this, make sure you, if you're over 30, just give your joints a little stretch, a little loosen them up a little bit.
But seriously, it's humbling.
It hurts. I thought I pulled a muscle across my ab, the diagonal. It was uncomfortable, but I beat him. And then I raced my...
That's the real
thing. And then I raced my 8-year-old, and I was very nervous to race her because she's very fast, but she's gotten gangly, and I don't think she's quite figured out her speed with her gangle, so I had an advantage there. So I found that window when I could beat her. So we raced, and I beat her by a half step. Third time we raced again, because of course you can't just win one time. She wanted a rematch. I won again by a half step, and I was feeling a lot better that race. But yeah, I know I won too, because she was like, I think you won, but only by a little bit. I think it was almost a tie, and I was like, I totally beat you. So
there are no ties in this house, little girls.
So
unless I'm the one.
That's so funny that's your story, because when I took the kids to the splash park, they have that Ninja Warrior course, right?
Yeah.
So they have that running track. Wells wanted to race me, and I was like, sure. And without even stretching or touching my toes, I was like, let's go for it. And he was quicker than I thought. I still beat him, but I think I rolled my ankle, and then I was limping afterwards, and I was like, oh my god, I can't do that again. And I was
unfortunately,
I did have to do it
You're
again. 35 years old. Why didn't you stretch before you? And I was like, that's the first time I think I actually ran full sprint.
Yeah. Because I run
really long time.
I run races, but I'm not sprinting at any point. Even at the end, my sprint, I just ran 13 miles. I ain't going that fast. In coaching, I'm not sprinting and coaching.
It's one thing to, though, be running and pick up your speed, but I realized this because we did the same thing at the beach. We had a start and finish line, and we all raced. And to take off like that, and I'm like, where, body, catch up, let's go, we're supposed to. I was like, okay, we gotta make it a little bit longer, because it takes me so much longer to get up to stride than out of the gate. Yeah. But if I'm running and I pick up full speed, still it's horrible, but it's easier. But trying to stop and then go, oh my gosh, I'm like, hello, we're supposed to be up there, body move.
And kids do it all the time. They're just like,
you don't realize that you don't do it.
Yeah.
Until you try to do it, and you're like, oh.
And there's just a bunch of extra stuff on my body now. Right. That's just too much was moving. It's just
oh gosh, that was the worst feeling. I noticed that on the beach too, and I'm like, why? That never jiggled before.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
That's horrible.
My 3-year-old did try to race as well in the first race, and she took about 3 steps and then flung herself to the ground screaming, and then she wouldn't get back up, so she became an obstacle.
Everyone jump over her.
Yes. She did not like that either. She was very upset. No cardio for that one. She was not into racing. So,
oh my.
But yes, so I just wanted to document this in case my kids were ever like, you never could beat me in a foot race. I did when you were 5 and 8.
Yep.
So I bought myself a little bit of time, so I'll try to race them in a couple of years. that won't go.
Yeah,
So.
my oldest is right there at beating me.
Yeah.
We were 100% neck and neck. If he didn't beat me, I can't remember.
Yeah.
My mom fail is, I don't know about you guys, and maybe Whitney, maybe your kids do it now that you are home, but like if I wear a certain clothing, my kids are immediately like, where are we going? Like, yes. If I, like, especially in the wintertime, if I'm like, I don't know, if I put jeans on, because I never wear jeans, right? Because I'm just either in athletic shorts or yoga pants. If I put them on, they're just like, hey, where are we going? And I was like, why do you assume we're going somewhere? And they're like, you're wearing jeans. Where are we going? So the other day, I had gotten myself ready, and I just, for like the last like 2 weekends, we had like a party, so I like actually put forth effort to like do my makeup and stuff. And this one day I was like, wow, I think my makeup looks really good. So I walk out, and my middle child, she looks at me and she goes, wow, you look like a completely different person. And I was like, should I take that as a compliment or not? I don't know. I still don't know what she meant. And then she just looked at me, and I go, I don't think I want to ask you the next question. No. So I didn't, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I don't know what she meant by that. Whether it was like, wow, you look really good, or no, I don't like what you did with your makeup to make you look that way. So.
Your son said that to me at the beach the year we did family photos. I like had put on makeup, and he was like, you look different. And I was like, good. Do I want the answer?
I just didn't even want to ask. I was like, you know what? I don't, because you know what? You're 4, and you might break my confidence. Yeah. And I feel like I did a good job, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Wait till your 10-year-old walks up and points at the giant pimple on your face and was like, did you know you have that thing? Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah.
And I said, let me give you a little advice. Women don't want to hear that. And he said, yeah, but you're my mom. I'm like, okay, fair point. But don't you think I'm aware of the giant thing on my face? Oh, kids, man.
Yeah.
Don't ask them the questions you don't want the answer to.
Yep, that's why I just bit my tongue on that one. I was like, well, thank you, maybe.
Yeah, I do look different. You're right.
I confused my son one morning because I think we were just going to the doctor or something. I was like, I just want to look a little nice. We're going to be out and about. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not going to get sweaty today. And I woke him up, and he was like, are we going to church? Why do you look so nice? And I was like, I just have makeup on. He was like, yeah. What are we doing today? Like, just so out of it. I'm like, okay. Guess I got to try a little bit harder. I don't know.
Yeah, in my house, it's a shower. If I shower and then proceed to put on jeans or even long leggings, especially, like, I don't know. Where are you going? Are you leaving us?
Yeah.
And they like cling to me instantly. Like, get the frig off of me. Yes, I am leaving you, number one. So you cannot cling to me.
Well, a couple of times I like, if we have like gone out to dinner or something, and like I don't know, sometimes I just feel like wearing something nice. Even my husband, like, why do you look so nice? And I was like,
should that translate into, wow, babe, you look nice? That's how I've learned to interpret that. So there you go.
Right.
You just have to make your own compliment.
and then I did it to him the other day. And I was like, why do you look so nice when we're just going to a Mexican restaurant? He was like, trying to just put on a shirt. I'm like, right, it's a nice shirt. Why are you wearing that? Put on your props, text me one. That you always wear.
Feels weird.
And then you had my oldest. He was like, I want to wear jeans and boots just like Daddy. So then he had to change his clothes. I'm like,
this whole ordeal.
Why are we taking 25 minutes to get out the door and we're all changing clothes? Because then my middle child, she wanted to put jeans on in her spark pinkly cowboy boots. She got compliments on them, obviously, while we were out.
Obviously.
But... what else? What is better than pink sparkly cowboy boots?
I don't know. She loves them. I hope she never grows out of them. Even though I know she will.
We will.
I know she will.
Have to just buy them in every size from now on.
Oh, yeah.
So this is just a PSA because it's still summer, right? And you still go outside and do the things. Well, I, who can't remember anything, said we all need to put on bug spray before we go for a walk. You know what we did not do? Put on bug spray. It was me and the girls. And 24 hours later at my son's football practice, I started itching incessantly. I mean, I was uncomfortable. And then I look down at my legs and they are covered in bites. So if you haven't heard of chiggers, they're horrible, horrible little bugs. And lo and behold, I had tight, tall socks on and like spandexy shorts on, and they love tight clothing. So those are the two areas that got eaten alive.
Oh,
And it was and it still is horrible. I have had to take allergy medicine every 4 hours to not itch. I'm doing all the things because I could have chopped off a limb. That's how itchy it. I was.
Yeah.
I told him about it, complained to him about it. I was like, will you look at this? Because literally my body is covered in boils at this point. And he's like, what do you want me to do about it? I was like, next time you have an ache or pain, I'm going to say
Right.
that. And just yesterday, he said he complained about a pain. And I was like, what do you want me to do about it? He's like, rub it. I'm like, okay, well, I get your point. There's nothing to do about my itchy body, but still. So, spray yourselves. Wear the long pants. Because they will go, like, into any clothing. If you have tight socks on and loose pants, they'll still go. So, like, put your socks over your pants. I will never even look at the woods again. I will turn around and walk that. Because we were already at that point when I realized, like, I don't know, 200 yards away. And I was like, nah. I will go back from now on. And luckily, though, the good part of that story is I took the brunt of it. The girls have a bite or two, but I easily probably have 100 plus.
oh my gosh.
It's horrible. I've only had triggers one time, and it's an experience I will literally never forget. Because I had them, and they went all the way up.
Ugh.
And I didn't have as many as like that, but that was like the first time. And of course, I was at Pop Pops.
It's like chicken.
When I got
it's like chicken pox. Well, that's what Will said. He was all offended. Well, where'd you get them? I was like, the woods. They're like,
Yeah.
you can't be offended.
Where
We have
else
chiggers
do you
in
get them?
52 acres. I don't know why are you so offended right now?
Yeah.
Here. They didn't stop either. It's my entire body. And so it was horrible. So PSA, bug spray, people.
Ugh.
Because now it's like humbled me. If my kids tell me they're itchy, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here you go. Which I'm pretty good about anyway, because I know itching's miserable, but this has just renewed my faith in.
I probably would have like tried to ice myself to like numb it.
Nice.
I even put bleach on them because I'm like, something's gotta like
Yeah.
burn it up, you know?
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that's my random PSA, but you don't know, dude.
What did Wyatt used to do? Didn't he do like chlorine tabs from the pool and like scrub it on there?
Dude,
I'm not even kidding. I'm like pretty sure he's done that.
yeah,
Some
no,
bites.
and I get poison ivy really bad too, like
Yeah.
to the point of
Oh, yeah,
steroids. So I was looking for a steroid pack because I was about to put myself on it, but I was like, the pool is always where I go swimming. It just helps burn it up faster. It really does. I didn't know if chiggers were the same because the old wives' tale is that they stay there.
Yeah.
But that's true. The internet, or not true. The internet says that's a lie. You don't have to smother them out. By the time you start itching them, they're gone.
They're gone.
So random, I know, but I was really miserable and I wanted to share.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But at least your girls didn't get it. That would be awful.
Yeah. My middle child, when we got here, said, I'm itchy, and it is right like where her short line is, and I'm like, but that's been days ago now, so I imagine they only got a few as opposed to,
Right.
I do feel, I don't know what I would have done if they itched like this. It would
Yeah.
have been horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Gone to the doctors or something.
Yeah,
Like,
steroids.
Y'all need to fix
I
this.
was digging, desperately digging through like looking for steroid creams or looking for a Z-Pack. I was like, God, something's got to be here.
Oh. Rough stuff.
Dumb stuff.
All right. So for our story this week, I have. You guys already heard the first name. Her full name is Ethel Gumm. Ethel Gumm.
Ethel or
Sounds like a bad mom, and it is. So let's give this mom her moment. So Ethel Gumm, her maiden name is Milne, but we're going to call her Ethel Gumm. She is the mother to 3. She is born November 17th, 1893, near Lake Superior, which is where she grows up. And she is the eldest of 8 to parents John and Eva. Her early exposure to the performing arts was influenced by vaudeville, the form of variety entertainment that flourished in the early 20th century. And this later develops her interest in performing. Her father, while he was a railroad man, he and his wife had a very prominent role in the life of the small town where they lived, particularly its musical life. They both sang and played various instruments. And as soon as their children could walk and talk, they could sing and dance too. It was like just that kind of household music always on. Everyone's doing everything. And actually many of their children were pretty talented. And Ethel herself, Ethel, oh my God. Ethel.
Yeah, sorry. I could try.
I'm going to do that a lot. I don't know why I want to say Ethel. Ethel may not, because it's a terrible name. I'm sorry if your name's Ethel. Rapids. Ethel may not have been the most gifted, but she was the most versatile. She could sing, play piano, dance, and write songs. She wasn't like super talented at one thing, but she was like pretty good at just about everything. And while the house was full of music, it was also full of yelling. John and Eva had a very heated marriage and bickered a lot. Ethel herself seemed to inherit her parents' strength and strong will. She fought with her mother constantly. She was known, even as a child, to just be very bossy and a nag. She was like always wanting to be in control. She was also considered pretty plain. She was short and stout, so marriage prospects appeared dim until she meets Frank Gumm. It is 1911 when they meet, and she is playing piano for background music for films, and he sang songs while reels were being changed. He met her because he was renting a room from her parents. He was in the same town, but he's from Tennessee. He was very charismatic and attractive, and some people thought they were an odd match because of how good-looking he was, but apparently her not. So many people were like, how'd she snag that guy? But as soon as the romance blossomed, it died suddenly when he left town. She actually thought they were on the brink of getting married when he left, and it was quite the surprise. And about 18 months later, he returns, they rekindle the romance, and they get married in 1914. Why did he leave town originally? Well, he's gay, and he has a thing for teenage boys. So he often got ran out of towns for this type of behavior. So that, 18 months he was gone, he was just going town to town to town, getting ran out when people found out what he was doing. And so when he comes back to this town, either they forgot, or since he got engaged, they're like, oh, maybe he changed his ways, as they thought.
Saw the light
then.
and saw the Lord.
Yep. Good old Christian man now. Spoiler alert.
Christian, so
had it. So the couple moves to Grand Rapids, Minnesota. There they managed the new Grand Theater, which featured silent films and live performances. They have 3 daughters, Mary Jane, Dorothy Virginia, and Frances Ethel, because his name's Frank and her name's Ethel. So their last daughter is Frances Ethel. She goes by Baby. Who would later change her name to Judy Garland. We know Judy Garland as Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. So I'm going to call her Judy the rest of the thing, even though she doesn't actually change her name until later. So they originally did not want Judy. Ethel tried multiple things to try and induce a miscarriage. They even went so far to ask a friend for an abortion, which the friend said no, it was too dangerous, and that, just go home, have the baby, you'll love the baby. And they do have the baby. It's thought by this point she was probably, pretty far along. So they were like, if they got an abortion, people would know. And that would not be good in a small town. So they have the baby, and they love her. She's the baby. She's spoiled. So the theater showcased a variety of acts, including vaudeville performances, silent films, and live music. But it's also the place where the daughters begin their careers as a vaudeville group called the Gumm Sisters. Their early acts also often featured a mix of singing, dancing, and harmonizing, with Ethel on the piano. And this isn't a Jeanette McCurdy situation who we talked about a couple weeks ago. The girls loved it. The girls wanted to be on stage, especially Judy. At the age of 2, Judy wanted to perform, and Ethel told her she was not ready yet. So when she did join her older sisters, it was clear that this girl was a star. The book Get Happy, which is one of my sources, it talks about Judy's life. I mean, I didn't realize how talented Judy actually was, but she was, even at 3-4 years old, people were like, holy shit, this girl can sing. And Judy would tell people she was going to be a star one day. So Judy wanted to be on stage. So while life seemed perfect in Grand Rapids, the Gumm family was forced to move due to Frank's antics. He was very fond of the high school basketball star, with whom he would spend overnight trips with. Mm-hmm. Apparently, no one thought the relationship odd until some of the ushers at the theater reported Frank was making unwanted sexual advances towards them. So the town figures out what he's up to, and they're like, y'all gotta go. So they do. They moved to California to advance the girl's career, but Hollywood was too expensive. So they end up about 2.5 hours away in a town called Lancaster, where they own, again, a local theater. So not being able to afford Hollywood, that does not stop Ethel from having the girls pursue the spotlight. Eventually, after enough shows and auditions, it was determined that Judy was the real stars, and the other sisters didn't really have to go along with everything, and they were happy to be done, as much as they enjoyed it. They were happy for their mother's focus to be fully on Judy and not them anymore. And focus on Judy she did, in a very controlling manner. Friday afternoons, Judy would go home after school to get curlers in her hair, so early Saturday morning they could leave for whatever audition or show Ethel had scheduled those 2.5 hours away. This was obviously exhausting, so when Judy was just 10, her mother started supplying her with pep pills to boost her energy during the day, and sleeping pills to knock her out at night. This will lead to a lifetime of pill addiction for Judy. Ethel also was not very good at discerning what shows the girls should do. I don't know if she was just like trying to take any show she could to make money, or if she was hoping that the girls would be discovered. But the girls would often perform at unsavory venues, including clubs that had been raided for illegal gambling. And if any of the girls, Judy in particular, seemed hesitant to perform, Ethel was quick to threaten or deliver harsh punishment. Judy wanted to be in the movies, but she hated the auditions. She was a showgirl at heart, so the lack of applause after auditions really sucked. But also because after the audition, Ethel would have Judy go play outside while Ethel stayed inside, sometimes for over an hour. Judy was convinced her mother was having sex with the men in hopes of advancing her career.
Oh my God.
Yeah. When Judy did have time to play with friends, Ethel was very controlling. She couldn't do anything that could hurt her, like play on swings. She was always fussing over Judy, fixing her hair or clothes. If her friends wanted to do something, it was always at Judy's house with Ethel right there with them. If her friends excluded her, though, Ethel would have a fit and call the kids' parents to complain. Halloween was a prime example. The kids, when they invited Judy, they couldn't go trick-or-treating. They had to stay inside the Gumm's house. Ethel would kind of say the kids were just jealous of Judy and of them being a show business family to avoid the issue of, no, they just don't want to come around because they hate you, Ethel. In all this, there was not much love. According to anyone who interacted with the family, love and affection was not Ethel. Many people said Ethel seemed to regard Judy as more as an asset to be exploited than her own daughter to cherish. Not once did they witness an open display of affection. Even Judy herself wasn't sure how much her mom actually loved her. In the middle of great kindness or loud laughter, she was capable of saying something or doing something that would scare me to death. And while it was never documented that Ethel was physically abusive, if Judy ever did anything wrong during their trips to Hollywood, Ethel would pack only her bags, walk out of the hotel room, slamming the door shut behind her. Judy would never know how long her mother would be gone. Could be anywhere from 1 hour to 6 hours. She would just leave her daughter in a hotel room. When she returned, she would say things like, "You are lucky I came back this time because next time I might not." Her dad, on the other hand, absolutely adored his children, so she always had him. He especially loved showering Judy with hugs and affection. But Ethel used this against them because her and Frank were not on such great terms. They would fight mainly about how much Ethel was pushing the girls and making them do. Ethel would take Judy with her when she would leave and stay a few hours away for a couple nights at a time. If Judy refused to go, her mother would then say, "Then you don't love me." During this time, Ethel began an affair with a married man in the neighborhood whose wife was in a wheelchair from a stroke. They would play bridge together, quote unquote. This man, his name's Will, was just awful. He's just described as a sour old man. He was really mean to Judy, especially at dinners, sometimes with Ethel joining in on picking on her. They don't know this for sure, but they think Judy walked in on Will and Ethel one time.
Blech.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Frank was up to no good. He began again going after the high school boys, some of whom bragged in the locker room about getting to see free movies while Frank performed oral sex on them.
Oh my God.
In 1933, Ethel was able to get a job in Los Angeles, and the girls eventually moved with her when the school was over. Frank stayed behind, but of course without the shield of his family, he was lonely, and rumors got out about what he was doing, and he eventually had to leave as well. So it's It's like another town he got ran out of. Ethel served as manager for Judy during the early stages of her career, and she was pretty successful. I mean, they performed in a lot, like Alone and Judy Just by Yourself, various theaters, and on various stages across the country. But then they hit the big one. In 1935, MGM signs her to a 7-year deal. So that's like, she made it. Woo! We've done it. 2 months later, Frank dies, which devastates Judy. Judy is quoted as saying, "Now there is no one on my side," which is a sad thing to say when your mom's still alive. Mm-hmm. When Frank died, Ethel, she was still having an affair with the Will character. Hours after his death, she leaves her girls in the company of some of their friends for 2 nights. She's not there to comfort her daughters and shows no grief herself. They assume she's just hanging out with Will. She's not even there for her kids when they love their father and he dies and she's not there for them. It's so sad. So things with MGM go slow at first for Judy. But the thing with MGM is that even though they're not using her, she's still theirs. MGM had a reputation for owning their talent, meaning every movement and decision was watched. Every correspondence was read. They tried to control every aspect of their talent's life to avoid any scandal. And they did this for children by putting their mothers on the payroll, Ethel being one of them. So together, Ethel and MGM controlled Judy's life. She was still taking pills for staying awake, pills for going to sleep, and now MGM had Ethel put her on diet pills because she was pudgy. Louis B. Mayer, who's the head of MGM, referred to Judy as my little hunchback, due to her short height and her curvature of the spine. This obsession... I know, it's so sad. Judy's life is so tragic. This obsession over her figure would later influence Judy's drug addiction as well. She would often turn to stimulants to help keep her weight down. Most of her teen and adult life, she has been on either benzodrine, or a diet, or both, her third husband wrote in his memoir. Unlike other actresses, she could not successfully camouflage extra weight, especially because she was dancing and singing and revealing costumes. She's only 4 feet 11.5 inches tall. She could be underweight and still appear heavy or out of proportion on screen. So as Judy's career progresses, she has a breakthrough role as Dorothy in Wizard of Oz. But this wasn't a great year. Professional tensions emerged between the mother and daughter. It didn't help that Ethel married the Will guy, her affair partner, the same year Wizard of Oz came out, on the anniversary of Frank's death. You can pick any day. 365 days she picked November 17th, the day her husband had died a few years earlier. Her daughters were pissed, and as soon as they were married, he wanted to be the one in control of Judy's career and finances. Luckily, Ethel said hell no, and they officially separated 4 years later. But that was like an ultimate betrayal to Judy and the other daughters. So Ethel wasn't all bad. Judy had a problem of falling in love with people, and her first marriage was to a man 12 years older than her, David Rose, which Ethel originally very strongly objected to. Judy gets married anyways, and in 1942 she finds out she's pregnant, which is great. Oh, but no, she's a rising star, and she's a young star. Ethel talks it over with David and tells Judy, "Now, Judy, you understand this is impossible. This baby, you can't have it." And Judy says, "Why? It's mine. I want to have this baby." "You don't seem to understand," Ethel says. "You can have lots of babies at the right time, but this is not the right time. I've talked it over with David, and he agrees with me. I'll handle everything." And she does. Ethel arranges an abortion for Judy. This implies this was not Judy's decision to make. It wasn't even David's decision to make her husband. It was Ethel's decision to not destroy Judy's career for this baby. So unsurprisingly, that marriage ends in divorce, and Judy gets married again. I think when she is pregnant again a few years later, I think it's her second or her third husband, she calls to tell her mom, saying, "I'm going to have a baby, Mama. Do you mind?" And this time it was okay. Ethel blessed this pregnancy. This baby, however, would mark the end of Judy's relationship with Ethel. She not only wanted to be a stage mother, but a stage grandmother as well. And she began to push Judy's daughter, Lisa Minnelli. Do you guys know Lisa Minnelli?
Mm-hmm. That name sounds so familiar.
I always forget she's Judy's daughter. But yeah, she's a pretty big star herself. So Ethel was pushing Lisa like she pushed Judy, and that was like too much for Judy. She was like having flashbacks like to how terrible her life was. So they got into a huge argument, and eventually Ethel had to move out, and she goes to Texas to be with her other daughters. She began working as a clerk at Douglas Aircraft, and she asked Judy and her husband for money, and they gave her some, but apparently not enough. So she takes her story to the Los Angeles Mirror, which runs the story of the mother-daughter estrangement and basically throws Judy under the bus for being ungrateful for everything Ethel has done for her. Ethel told the papers, "Judy has been selfish all her life. That's my fault. I made it too easy for her." Judy added to the fire when she had her second daughter and refused to let her mother see the new granddaughter. And then, unfortunately, Ethel dies on January 5th, 1953, in the parking lot of Douglas Aircraft Company at the age of 56. Many people in the press blamed Judy, not understanding what Ethel had done to her. Judy struggled with addiction for the rest of her life, ultimately dying at an overdose in 1969 at 47. And it also greatly hurt her career. Like, Ethel really wanted her to be this big star, but Judy was so addicted to drugs, she became known as unreliable. She would call out on short notice, sometimes completely not showing up at all, and people stopped hiring her for stuff. Like, she literally lost her career because of her pill addiction and then her life. Along the way, Judy came to realize that what her mother had done to her, and blamed her. I mean, maybe a little too much because you have to have some accountability, but Judy she never reconciles her feelings for her mother, and she refers to her as the real Wicked Witch of the West. That was Ethel Gumm. What a mom.
I don't know if I'd call her a mom.
Yeah, I know. The way she treated her, as I said, Judy was an asset. Judy was
some
a
pills
thing
to help fix it.
Yeah.
What story does that remind me of that we did?
Deborah McCurdy, when she had Jeanette go on diets. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Ethel was the same way. She would have Judy diet because MGM told her she needs to be skinnier if you want her to be in movies. Yeah. That stuff.
What a mom indeed.
Yeah. So don't give your kids pills. It doesn't work out for them. Ugh, yikes. Anyway, that's her story. I know we just did a stage mom, but again, Ethel, kind of like Zerelda that we covered last episode, they are when you look up the worst moms, they get thrown under the bus. And they should.
Absolutely.
I feel like Judy could have written a book called I'm Glad My Mom Died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our episode. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Moms Being Moms Podcast. We have an email, momsbeingmomspodcast@gmail.com. Email us story suggestions, your mom wins and fails, so we can do an episode on that. Even if you don't have to know much about the story, just let us know. I saw this random thing about a mom. It'd be cool to hear more about it. Just those little things. You can message us on Instagram, on Facebook too. Subscribe, follow, rate, review, all the things. And we will see you next time. Mom's out.